So I want to go on and get started this morning. So good morning to everybody who has joined us. My name is Ginger Freeman. I am the Director of Alumni Relations, and we are so excited to have you join us for our first lunchtime webinar of 2024, Beginner's Guide to LinkedIn. So we are excited to have Thom Coates from the College of Business with us today, going to share with us about LinkedIn. Just one housekeeping here. You can put any questions that you have as we go along. Please put those in the chat and we will get to those at the end. He may stop in between, but it definitely will get to those at the end. So please put those in the chat. And if you have any questions along the way, we'll be checking that and we will respond to you as we can. It is my pleasure again to introduce Thom Coates, the Director of the Center for Professional Selling in the Jones College of Business. He is responsible for providing world-class sales education and training for students, making them productive from day one. We've got students, graduates all over the country in sales right now. I'm sure he can give us some background on that a little bit too. He's responsible for building business relationships, seeking high quality sales applicants, and helping both students and the business community connect. Thom's passion is to help his students succeed by implementing solutions that work, which leads right into today and him going over the beginner's guide to LinkedIn. I know I have a LinkedIn profile, but my LinkedIn profile is not what it should be. So I have a feeling that's why we are all on this call today, to see what we need to do to make our profile look better. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you, Thom.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All right. So let's start off with an agreement. Let's agree that your LinkedIn is not your digital resume. It's not something that you just throw up there and then never take down. You just never update it. It's just static. That's not what LinkedIn is made for. That's not how you grow your professional network, is by just throwing it out there, never touching it again. What I would like you to view LinkedIn is as your personal website. And so if you view it as your personal website, then you're going to touch it and you're going to review it once in a while and update and actually interact with it. If you view LinkedIn as your storefront window for the main street of business, then that would be very accurate. You know, imagine going downtown Murfreesboro and you guys have passed by that bakery. And you look at that bakery, you see the cupcakes in there and the cakes and the cookies, and you just want to go in and purchase something. That's what I want your LinkedIn to feel like, that people see that, go, hey, I would like to engage and learn more. And that's what your LinkedIn is designed to do. So first off, I'm going to share my screen. All right, so let's go into my LinkedIn profile. What I will do is I will show you best practices of LinkedIn by just showing you examples. If you see the profile picture right here, that bald-headed bearded guy, that's me. The profile picture needs to represent the way that you present yourself at work. LinkedIn is a business social media. It's not a place to put your, what you had for breakfast. It's not a place to put your hobbies either. So you see the Yahoo right here, that's that dude with the bow tie. When I'm presenting, when I'm working, that's typically how you're going to see me, suited up with the bow tie. So my profile picture here reflects and continues to tell that story, because the important thing of LinkedIn is just an extension of you. Now, you all know that most people do research before they ever buy something, before they ever meet somebody. So every story, the story that I tell within LinkedIn, needs to resemble and represent exactly what people should expect to see. That should be the same message all the way through. So the picture here is what you should have. It should not be a picture of your hobby unless you make a living with your hobby. If you're a mountain climber, then if you're a mountain tour guide, that's fine. But if not, then that has no place on your LinkedIn profile. If it's your puppy or your grandchildren, yeah, I have beautiful grandchildren too, but that's not a place for that. So it's business profile picture, how people see you when you're at work. And then this banner behind here is also another way to reinforce what you do for a living. You see, this is me right here standing up in front of a bunch of folks talking. That's the way I make my living. I have no other skills other than talking to folks. And so that's what you see. Now that's an original picture. If you don't have an original snapshot like this, then you could go to a website called unsplash.com. That's unsplash.com. That website is free clip art, and you can go to it and you can search for different things. Let's say that you're in, transportation. Then you could have a picture of some 18-wheelers or something like that, so that you would put that up and that would be free artwork. Now, the significance of that is if you go to a website and you take art from their website, then that's stealing. And you don't want to begin your business relationship with somebody with something you stole from somebody else. So always use either royalty-free clip art or original clip art. If you can't find something that reflects your industry, you can always put a solid background there with your company logo. That's perfectly fine. I know a lot of people that do that. With my students, sometimes, well, often they don't know what company they're going to end up with. They may not even know what industry they're going to end up with, but they may know that they want to stay in Middle Tennessee. So for them, I recommend that they do a skyline of Nashville, which is iconic, the Batman building, all of that. So with that, that you're local. So you could do something like that as well, something that helps tell your story. Okay. Now, going on further, you see here below my name, it says Professor of Practice, Director of Center for Professional Selling at Middle Tennessee State University. All of that, job title stuff that you would expect. But there's a tagline there. I help people connect and grow their business careers. That's my tagline. And that continues to tell the story of what I do for a living. So I use that tagline to continue to tell that story. And that's exactly what your LinkedIn profile should be doing, is telling the story of doing business with you. Now, there you see right here, you see this says contact info. If we select that, then there's an opportunity for you to put your email address, your mobile phone, websites, all of those things are right there for you to add that information. And when you add that information, all you have to do is there's a little pencil icon there. Anytime you have the ability to change something and add it, you can use the pencil icon and you put your contact information there. If this platform is designed for you to connect with people, to do business, then make sure that they can connect with you and contact you. So be sure to complete the contact info. I can't tell you the number of professionals that I know that have that section blank. Don't be one of those people. All right. This add profile section right here will be important for you if you're making updates to your LinkedIn. The core sections are here. This is what normally comes as when you first set up your profile. Then you have the recommended sections, okay? And then you have additional sections, and we'll go through those right now, but I wanted you to know how to get to them. One other thing before we go further, I want you to look over here on the right where it says public profile and URL. And there is a icon that says I can change things. Let's change that, because when you sign up for LinkedIn, it will have linkedin.com/in/ probably your name and a whole bunch of numbers and stuff. Well, it's a good touch to clean that up, and you can update that to actually just include your name. Especially for folks like me, I have a unique spelling for Thom. So there's not another one out there, so I got to keep it. So you can play with that, but you can clean that up. Now, why would you do that? Well, it's those little things that make a professional. So taking care of the little things, then I'm going to trust you with the bigger things. So that's why I recommend that you update your URL so that it looks more professional. All right, so let's keep going. Yes.
Hey, Thom, real quick, before we move too far, we did have one question about the profile.
Yes, ma'am.
Julie asked and said she's a veteran, and thank you for your service, Julie. And she said she's placed an American flag. Is that appropriate?
Right here on the profile picture?
I think so.
Then what I would recommend, Julie, is having your picture there, but then in your banner, you can have the American flag, because that's part of who you are. That story of you serving our country is important to all of us. So sharing that as part of that banner art, I think is significant. But I want to see my preference would be to see your face in the profile picture. Now, that's an opinion. That's my opinion. You can have different opinions and they'll be fine. But that would be my recommendation. Is that helpful, Ginger? Yeah, because definitely. I had a student that was Army Reserve, and he had a day when he was supposed to do his role plays, but he also was supposed to be in uniform that day. And he goes, "Professor Coates, I'm not suited up like I'm supposed to be." I looked at him. I said, "Sir, that's the best suit you could have." So, yeah. So make sure you tell that part of who you are. All right. So let's go down here. The next section is the About Me section. Okay. Here is going to be more Thom Coates opinions, but also best practices. Now, the About section is the narrative of who you are, right? Okay. If you've taken the time to write out an elevator pitch for who you are, when people ask you that question, so Ginger, what do you do? Then Ginger has an answer for you that she has worked at and develops, and she could do that answer in probably 60 seconds. She's very good at it. All right, so this is a place where you can actually write out your elevator pitch on your LinkedIn profile. And remember, I want us to continue to tell that story of who we are professionally. The template that I use is, what do I do? How do I do it? Why it matters? Why you should call me? And then I throw a little personal thing outside of work. And then I have a call to action, next steps. Now, to me, that kind of flows through and tells the story, and it kind of reflects my personal elevator pitch. I want you to also notice that there's a lot of white space here. White space is your friend. Ginger has some marketing background, so she understands that people don't like to read. So if you could put all of that into one big lump of a paragraph, or you could break it up into small little tidbits. And when you do that, they'll read it. But if you just throw it all together, they won't read it. So separate your About Me paragraph into one or two sentences, and feel free to use this template or use whatever portion of this template makes sense for you. Okay, Ginger, does that make sense? And then again, in the next steps, the call to action, I put my email address and my phone number here, because this platform is designed to help you engage with other professionals. So I'm not going to miss an opportunity to encourage that engagement. All right, so remember I said that this thing is not your digital resume, but you do put your experience here. So this is where you would put your employment history in the experience section. And so you include all of that in there. That's perfectly normal. And then you also include your education. So where you earn your degrees. And then there is a section here for licenses and certifications. Now, you probably have some certification as a professional, or you may have a license as a professional. And if you do, this is a place to put that. You know, our students, they have to do all kinds of certifications for grades and stuff. And so now they can add those certifications right here on LinkedIn. I have two of them here because I have a lot of experience with CRMs. And so I have two credentials through Salesforce for accounts and contacts and leads and opportunities. So I want people to know that I have a good understanding of that because I teach that. Okay. So again, telling the story about who you are and what can you do, licenses and certifications. Projects, as professionals, we also do a lot of projects. And so for several years, I conducted business conferences, and I treated each conference as a project. So if you're on a project committee, anything like that, then this is where you would put that. And for a few years, I was on the a board for the, I think it's more advisory board for the Jazz Fest downtown on the square. You know, that would be something that you might put on there because that's a project that you do each year. But projects like this would go here. And again, it tells some of the things that you do as a human. Volunteer work, where you volunteer your time, tells me about who you are. I tell my students that a true professional does three things. They are number one in their field. If they're not number one, they're working toward that. Then they are part of a business organization that guides their industry. And then the third thing is that they are involved with something that gives back to their community. Because as salespeople, we have the ability to make really stupid good money. And if we're not giving back, you know, we're not quite the people we thought we were. All right. Recommendations. There's a section in LinkedIn where you could have recommendations that people write for you. I think that most everybody on this call has ordered things from Amazon. I think that that's kind of a universal fact right now. And you probably look at the number of stars that product has. And you probably look at, depending on how expensive the product is, you probably look at the things people have written about that product. Well, we could do the exact same thing for you. So we can have recommendations for you. And this is the opportunity for people to share how was it to do business with you. Now, the way that we get to that, you see this plus right here? That plus right there, you could go right here where ask for a recommendation. Okay. So right here, you would type in the individual that you're connected with on LinkedIn that you're going to request that recommendation. Okay. Ginger, are you and I connected? So if we are.
I don't remember.
Nope, we're not.
No.
But I'm going to use another Ginger as an example. All right. Then we could go in the next, and then the relationship, that would be what part of my career did I work with Ginger? Okay. And then what position did I hold during that time? And then there's the include a personalized message. Now, LinkedIn is going to give you the standardized, hi, Ginger, would you write me a recommendation, please? And if you want to be basic, you go right ahead and leave it there. Don't be basic. Write a personal note here, please. Also, best practice would be you reach out to Ginger and let her know that you're asking for a recommendation. So that way she knows to look for it. What happens after that is she'll get a notice from LinkedIn that says, hey, Thom Coates asked for a recommendation, and she can write this recommendation. It comes back to me. I'll review it. And if I like what she says, I can keep it and display it on my LinkedIn profile. So these things are important. I have 44. So that really allows people to know who I am and what my abilities are. I have a couple of publications that I have there, some honors and some organizations I'm members of. So all of these continue to tell the story of who Thom Coates is, what are my skill sets, and what can I do to help you. Okay. I'm going to pause for just a minute and see if there's any questions on this before we talk about a couple other things within LinkedIn.
We only have one question about connections, but I think we can do that one at the end.
Oh, we're about to do it.
Okay, there you go.
Let's make this, yeah. So, all right, so the first thing about connections, there are two ways that you could operate your LinkedIn profile. The first way is the way that I do it is I have, oh goodness, I have like 4,000, almost 4,000 connections on LinkedIn. Every one of these people I have held a conversation with. Throughout the years, I've had a conversation with each of these people. So I have a connection. Now maintain that connection as well, because I will message them. Their LinkedIn will give you an opportunity. It'll have a notice that will pop up that says, wish Ginger Freeman a happy birthday. So if we're connected on LinkedIn and her birthday's coming up, then LinkedIn will tell me, and I can tell her happy birthday. Or congratulations on your work anniversary, or congratulations on your new job. Whatever it is, those three categories are ways that LinkedIn tees it up for you to continue relationship. So I'll take time out of my Friday and do those every week. The other way that you could do your LinkedIn is just accept everybody. Just continue, ask. With no conversations or anything, you just broaden your network by adding. Depends on what you do for a living helps guide you as far as why would you do that. In Ginger's position, with how many alumni do you have?
A little over 150,000.
Yeah. She probably would like to be connected with everybody. So she may just choose to accept, if you're a Blue Raider, she probably would choose to accept you. Okay. And which would be perfectly fine. If you are a job recruiter, if that's your thing, then yeah, that makes sense. With me though, and most business people, it's all about who knows who and the connections that I have. So if Ginger works with a gentleman by the name of Brian, he and I are first connections. Apparently, I've made the terrible error of not being connected with Ginger, but Brian and Ginger are. So Brian and I are what's called first connections, which makes Ginger a second connection of mine. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so Brian's the first connection of mine, and because he's first connection with Ginger, that makes her a second connection. I can direct message Brian. I cannot, with the free version, direct connect message Ginger. unless I'm doing a connection, as requesting a connection. Okay. So there's the philosophy around connections. When you connect with somebody, I always want to do that personal connection. So let's right there's the second connection right here. So there you are. All right, so I can go in here to connect. And then I like to add a note. Now, because I'm a heavy user of LinkedIn, just recently, LinkedIn has started throttling back the number of personal connections that I could do. And they may force me to send it without a note. We'll see what happens. Yeah. See right here, no free personalized invitations left. I've used them all up this month, which is hideous. I hate that they've done that. But I'm sure there's a valid reason why they did that. Probably so to force me to pay for the premium version. But I can still connect with her and just send it without a note. I prefer not to, but I will this time. All right, so now it's pending, waiting for her to accept. Okay. Now, there's those connections. All right, so let's go to what you could do with connections. Alan Clayton is going to visit my class tomorrow. So I was on Alan's LinkedIn the other day, and something that I want to show you is some people have their connections locked down to where you can't search them. Open mine up. I leave mine open for anybody to search because I'm all about helping connections, right? Well, Alan is too. So here's all of Alan's connections on LinkedIn. And if I remember, yeah, he has 21 pages of connections in LinkedIn, which that's a lot to go through, y'all. Unless I can kind of narrow that down. So I can go over here. You see the search bar here with these little drop downs, and I can go to all filters. And right here, I can build a simple buyer persona of what I'm looking for in Alan's connections. So I'm going to keep first and second choices. And then let's say that I'm looking for somebody, I want to stay in Nashville, but I want to look for somebody in manufacturing. Okay. All right. So it show results. And I have 21 people in Middle Tennessee in the Nashville market that are in manufacturing that's connected with Alan. Okay, so these are second connections. So it'll tell you the second connections. I got 3 pages of these. A couple other things that it'll say. Let's see that. Oh, cool beans. All right, Matt Blackwell, Director of Supply Chain at the Lodge Cast Iron. Okay, so this is Matt. I actually have 4, 5, 6 connections with Matt already. You see right here where it shows me that. So I can choose to connect directly with Matt, or I can go into one of these other people that I'm first connected with, that I have a first connection with, and I could go here. Here's Alan. I could go do a message to Alan and say, hey, Alan, I would love to meet Matt at the cast iron store. Yeah, I'm a huge cast iron collector. It would be important. Appreciate it. And then send that to Alan. He's going to get that, and he's going to go, well, of course, I'll connect you with Matt, would love to. And boom, I have a connection made through one of my connections. I'm coming in on through the relationship that my connection has. So I'm leveraging my contacts that I've developed to grow my professional network. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Okay, good, good, good. All right. Let's look at a couple other things. Let's look at, you can also research a company. So yesterday, Novatech was in our sales lab here at MTSU conducting round one of a sales competition for our advanced class. And so here's Novatech, and this is their company page. And so they have the About Me section, which is, typical, telling their story. They have posts, so you can look at the various posts that they have, and that will tell you a lot about who they are as a company. It allows you to really see what's important to them and really kind of judge their company culture. They typically will have a jobs tab, so you know what jobs are available there. The life section, again, is a lot of stuff about their company culture, what they feel like is important to share. So they right down here, they thought it was important to share that, when their employees do volunteer work, they instead of having to take a day off, the whole team goes over there while they're on the clock. They thought that was cool to share, and so they things that are important to them. And then they have a section on people. So it's interesting enough. They've made the unfortunate decision to hire a couple of more people from Memphis, University of Memphis. So we've got to work and get more Blue Raiders up there. Fortunately, we beat that school in East Tennessee that we don't name, so we're doing good there. All right, so it tells you a lot about the people there. So all of that's interesting stuff. Okay, that gives you that background information, similar to what we do on our personal profile, telling the story. They tell their story as a business on their page. And then also you see these three dots here, and you could go straight to their website from here. Okay. Has a link right here that all the people that I know there that I'm connected with. But what's important to me is this section, this link right here that tells me that of their employees, around 500 to 1,000 of them are on LinkedIn, and here they are. And just like what we did for Alan, we could go over here to all filters, and I could go, okay, I like second and first connections. And again, I'm looking in the Nashville market, okay, or we'll even kind of broaden it out to the entire state. Working at Novatech. Let's get Blue Raiders. And it could be somebody, we could look for job titles like IT services, retail, manufacturing. We could look at all of those. Service categories, operations, IT consulting, information tech, or we could we could search a little bit broader and add a different, if we have certain type of contact, in sales, it's called that point of entry, meaning that who do I normally speak to at this company? So you could do that. You can also just type in a job title if you have a pretty standard, like human resources is your point of contact, you could write that. All right, so let's just see what we have here. Let's see, we have 6 in the Nashville market that we are first or second connection with. Bryce is a former student of mine. Caitlin is a former student of mine, and Riley is a former student of mine. Okay, but let's say that I really needed to meet Alex for some reason. And Alex is a second connection. So I can reach out to any of these folks here because I have a strong relationship with them and ask to be introduced to Alex. I was working with a freshly graduate from another university, and their university apparently never taught them the power of LinkedIn. And so he and I were looking at LinkedIn. I was showing him what he could do with it. And I asked him, what company do you want to work for? He told me. I said, what position do you want to have there? He told me. So we searched that company for that job title, and we came up with 8 people. And I looked at him. I said, okay, well, tell me about this. And he said, well, the third one down, I did Bible camp with her for 4 years. I said, well, does she still like you? And she goes, yeah, we're best friends. So he didn't even know that his best friend from high school at Bible camp worked there. So now he reached out to her, said, hey, I'd love to work there. What do I need to do? She looped him into the right people, and now he works there. So leverage LinkedIn. All right, so now we're back to just a LinkedIn homepage. Okay, and there's a few things that I want to show you here. Ginger, we don't have any more questions, do we?
There is one more question here. You covered the connection. One more question right now. How much information about accomplishments, this was back a little bit earlier, about accomplishments should be included in the experience section?
In the about section,
yes,
should be, you should keep it short and brief because people don't like to read. So keep that tight as much as you can. The about section really just needs to answer what you do. What do you do for a living? That should be there. Other sections, if you're going to use experience, you should include those in the section for your experience as far as your jobs. And so you would put that. I know that, let's go to mine real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a couple of weird things that I did. Come on, there we go. Stop it. I was not trying to show you my picture. So let's go to the experience section. And for instance, let's see, where was it? Right here. So I was a member of an organization, and my title for that organization was partner. And I was there for over 5 years, but at the same time, I had a full-time job with somebody else. So there, it's a duplication of time, but in the narrative portion of this, it explains why I included that. Because it was I got a lot of business through my association through Accelerate back in the day. Let's see, this one, the same thing. This is my business consulting personal side gig. So I do this type of stuff and training for living on the side. And so that's still current. So there's that. So you could do things like that if you have a regular job and then, some other means of your professional life, you definitely can add both of those at the same time. I hope that helped you a little bit.
Do we, under the experience, so you have some description under that experience?
Yeah.
So we should have something other than just the title, a little bit about that position?
Kind of what did you do? What were your responsibilities there? Very similar to what you normally do in your resume.
Okay, so if you're trying to be appealing to a recruiter, you want to share what was in that role.
Yeah. And anytime that you got an award or anything, there's that section for awards. So make sure you include those awards. Like if you made President's Club 3 years in a row by overachieving your number, then make sure you include that, because that's a great thing to share.
Right.
I think,
Okay. So,
yeah,
so you can't, I mean, I guess you can share too much, but if you are trying to catch someone's attention, you need that information on your profile.
and
Okay.
and just do what I encourage you to think about is the things that you just take for granted that you can do often is somebody else's superpower.
Hmm.
Because I'm very comfortable in front of people talking to folks. I mean, I enjoy it. Other people would rather chew nails. So each of us, we're all created differently, and that's a wonderful thing. So just don't assume that you shouldn't put it because it's easy for you. To see, like right here under what I do currently, you know, I got a novel there. That's a lot of writing. I probably should scale that back. But there it is. And it's probably too much. Let's see. But then see, that's short and sweet. Hopefully that helped a little bit.
I think that helps. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go over here to I mentioned earlier about LinkedIn will provide you opportunities they'll toss up things, notifications for you to connect with folks. So right here, there are various things. For instance, here's one of my students as part of the assignment called Getting the Appointment. They actually have to go to our sales lab and tour the sales lab and then post a picture on LinkedIn, because I want to push them to the ideal of starting to build their professional profile. And so this young man this morning posted this just 6 minutes ago. And so he's doing a good job. He tagged the Jones College of Business. He tagged me. In his class will be used in the enterprise fleet management sales competition. So he did everything he's supposed to do right there. So I'm really tickled with him. So let's look at his profile, see how he's doing on that. All right. So there he's got that going on. So problem solving and communication. He's got his tagline going on. He's doing really well there. And then this about section, he's got it broken down. We probably need to break it down a little bit more. He's got his experiences there. And then his education. There's a certification that he has. So he's doing a really good job at starting his LinkedIn profile. So just because mine is, like it is, doesn't mean everybody's has to be like that. I do it because I want to make sure that I can teach all the parts of it. Okay, so let's look at a couple other things here. So we got the notification. Best practice here is I see this, that he has that. So you guys are familiar with liking things. That's fine, but it's best if you have a comment. So a great job, Nicholas. So that is, it's just better. It's more engagement. It's that human contact. You guys are familiar with B2B sales or B2C sales, business to business or business to consumer. I'm convicted in the belief it's H to H, it's human to human. So let's always remember that we're dealing with other human beings. Okay. This is, let me show you this real quick as well. I posted this yesterday. but 20 hours ago. This is the results of round one. And then LinkedIn really likes video. So I produced a video. This is our sales lab. And then let's see, just within a day, we got just under 1,000 views of that. And it would share the analytics. It's been reposted 4 times, and there's 5 comments, and 30 people have liked it. So all of those are pretty good. They're not bad at all. I can show you the analytics of a couple of others real quick. The reason why I'm showing you this is how you engage with other human beings, is by posting things like this. All right, so this is from last week. Again, they like, LinkedIn loves when you can do videos. Okay, so David Carr from MedX visited my class. But here's the results after a week. Over 2,300 views of this. The analytics have 51 likes, 5 comments, and it's been reposted twice. That is a way that I leverage LinkedIn to tell the story of what we're doing here at MTSU and getting further and further out. So posting something on LinkedIn is important. This is that part of the treating it like your personal website. Now, posting is important, except it has to be relevant. Remember at the very beginning, I said that this is not where you post what you had for breakfast. If you are not a editor for the restaurant thing, checking out how good meals are, if that's not your living, nobody wants to know what you had for breakfast on LinkedIn. You need to post relevant information. For me, it's posting information about what my students are doing and lifting them up, because that's, quite frankly, they're my product, to be, blunt. So I present what they do so that you as a business or an employer can see that, hey, we're producing incredible young people that are setting the sales world on fire. Okay, so that's the way I do that. Also, you see right here, you can start a post, so you can share a picture or a video there, or you can write an article. So if you're good at writing, then what you can do is you can write a blog post. If I can get it to come up, there we go. Oh, come on, you're kidding. You can go in, so I'll go share. Here we go, finally. All right, so you can write a blog post and share that on LinkedIn. And here we are. Here's a blog post that I wrote from last week about our mentorship program. Okay. And right in here, there's the information there. There's pictures and all that good stuff, all from that event. But I can still get the same type of analytics from this. So I have the same stuff right here that I have. So this is a great opportunity to, share your knowledge and become a center of influence, okay, and connect with other people and be a resource for others. You guys know also that there is a LinkedIn app for your mobile device. And if you have that, then I encourage you to take out your mobile device and open up your LinkedIn app, because I'm going to give you a bonus. And so if you pull out the app, go to the search bar at the very top and select the search bar, you will see what's called a waffle on the right end, upper right-hand corner of the screen. You select that waffle and a QR code pops up so that people could scan that and connect with you right then on LinkedIn on your mobile device. So you don't have to worry about getting the right spelling, looking for the right person on LinkedIn. You go straight to the QR and you're connected through there. So that's a great way that you could connect with people on the fly when you meet them at your next cable event or your next Chamber of Commerce event. Plus, it's easier to do that than when you're trying to spell that out and you got all that noise in the background.
Right. Okay. Another question. What are some of the biggest benefits of a paid account when acting as a job applicant?
That's a fantastic question. My opinion there's very few advantages because it's expensive. It's around 90 some odd dollars a month for the premium account. Now, what do you get for that? Well, one, they won't throttle back your personalized notes. You can also, within mine, I could tell who has viewed my profile just a couple of people back. But with the premium version, I think it goes back 90 days. So you could do that. You could send more messages. So you have greater abilities. It's valuable, but it's more valuable if you're actually in a sales role. And then they have a paid premium version for recruiters. So there's value in it. But if you're just job searching, then I'm not 100% sure that it's valuable. Now, you can hack the system, and because you can sign up for 30 days trial. So if you want to sign up for 30 days trial while you're in the job search and max it out at that time and then cancel it, they would probably hate you for that, but I think it'd be a little bit smart. And I'm a little bit cheap. All right, So the two things that I want to share with you. First off, thank you guys very much for attending. I really appreciate it. There is in the chat is a link to the LinkedIn builder form. What that does, it walks you through everything that we discuss and gives you step-by-step instructions on that. So feel free to utilize that. It's a tool that I use for my students, but I'm more than happy to share with you guys. And so the second thing is that tomorrow, Thursday the 1st, February 1st, we are holding the Blue Raider Phone Blitz. I do this every semester with my professional selling students. I take them up to the press box at the football stadium, and we make outbound phone calls selling either football tickets or baseball season tickets. And of course, it's baseball season. So this time we'll be selling season tickets for baseball. Blue Raider Baseball, really great prices for this. Great opportunity for my students to actually make their very first sales call often. So it's really great exercise for them. Last spring when we did this, we set a all-time record of number of season tickets sold in one day. My friends, I would love some help of beating that record. So the second form that I have in chat is where you could give me your name and phone number for my student to call you. If you care to, if you'd like to participate in that, to help a student learn and develop, that would be fantastic. We'd appreciate it.
Very
But we
good.
are
So
going to
that,
ask you to buy tickets.
so both of those are at the beginning of the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
If you pull that up, so you can find both of those. Again, thank you so much to everyone for joining us today for your lunch hour. We will have more of these lunchtime webinars coming up later in the semester, so you'll be getting that in your email. You will also be getting an email with a survey, and we will have that form link from Thom that will be included in that as well. So you will get a link for that. So please fill out the survey. If you have any questions, please reach out to the alumni office. That survey will also give you the opportunity to share any other webinar ideas that you have or that you would like to see in the future. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Thom, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. We appreciate it very much. And we look forward to seeing you all again sometime soon.